Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 36 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. And today we make a wish come true, and we have two donators. They had the same wish, Franziska from Berlin and David from Calgary, Canada, and they both wished La Cumparsita. And we decided for the cumparsita of Anibal Troilo.
It was recorded November 5th, 1943. The piano was already José Basso and the arranger was Astor Piazzolla.
And what did he say about La Cumparsita?
Our Astor Piazzolla had some bad meanings about the cumparsita. He said this is the worst piece of music you can imagine, a very horrible tango.
But he recorded La Cumparsita 4 times.
Yes, he arranged this number.
He arranged this number for Anibal Troilo.
Yes, because he was part of the orchestra and also a arranger. And for example, Juan D'Arienzo recorded it 6 times, Anibal Troilo 4 times in total. So it was the most played tango you can imagine. I didn't count the total number of recordings. Maybe somebody knows and lets us know.
Okay, before we go to the question, how was it made? Let's listen to this incredible, touching bandoneon of Anibal Troilo. This really warms my heart and I'm nearly crying. But now, where did this piece come from?
It was created in 1916 in Montevideo, where a young student, Gerardo Matos Rodriguez, who is always named as the author of this piece, he was a student of architecture and he did compose a small piece for Murga. Murga are these carnival marches, very comical ones, very like carnival marches are. And this is a small carnival march. That's why this piece is called cumparsita, the small march. And he handed this piece, only a part of the melody and some harmonies, in a written version through a mediator to Roberto Firpo, the famous piano player who was playing in the Café La Giralda in Montevideo, the cathedral of tango in this time. And Firpo took this and said, oh, this is not a tango, this is more a march. And he changed it, and within some hours he made it a playable tune and performed it in this cafe. And he just used these little ideas of Gerardo. Then he added a piece of his own tango, La Gaucha Manuela. You can hear it. There's a version on YouTube. You can find it, and there is a part you can really recognize. And then he added something from the opera Il Trovatore of Giuseppe Verdi, the Miserere. I didn't prove this so far, but maybe there's also a part. So the cumparsita has 3 parts, and Roberto Firpo just
It's a collage, we can say.
Yes, yeah, a very successful collage.
And Rodriguez sold this collage out to an editor, got $50 and went to the horse riding.
Yes, he sold the copyright to an editor in Buenos Aires, Braya, and just spent the money in the horse races, and that was it.
This is one story.
Yeah, and Firpo was all his lifetime, he was bothered that he never had any copyrights on this piece because it was so successful. He made it basically from this basic idea, but he never get anything as copyright owner.
So I think not so many people know that there is lyrics for La Cumparsita. Different lyrics In the end, there is one lyric more played than others, but Matos Rodriguez didn't like it at all, and he went to court.
In 1924, two guys gathered, Pasquale Contursi, the well-known author of Mi Noche Triste, and Enrique Maroni, and they wrote a lyric called Si supieras, if you knew. And of course, the author, the true author of this piece, didn't like this, and he sued the writers, and it took 20 years until this was settled in an arrangement. But it was performed, for example, by Carlos Gardel and Hugo del Carril. It was part of a movie of 1947 by the name of Cumparsita, where Carril sang that. So in a form it was established, but mainly La Cumparsita is an instrumental.
If you only knew that I still keep that love in my heart that I felt for you. Who knows? If you knew that I have never forgotten you, when you look back on your life, you will remember me. Into the abandoned room doesn't even shine the morning sun through the window, just like when you were there. And a little dog, a companion who, because of your absence, no longer ate, when he found me alone the other day, left me too. Reminds me of Mi Noche Triste. It's not that far, right?
It's not that far, and for me it sounds a bit like a parody. He uses partly the same words, it's the same setup, the abandoned man. He uses the same word for woman, per canta, which comes from per quanto, how much baby. And he uses for the room, for the place, the word cotoro. Cotoro means like a love nest. So the whole thing is more in a comic way describing the same situation. Maybe this is the reason why Rodriguez didn't like that.
By the way, a little self-advertisement. If you wanted to know more about women in tango, we did our special episode number 2 with Teresa Faust from Munich yesterday, and is published already on our website. Raimund, you said at the beginning that Piazzolla didn't like this piece at all. He said this is the most baddest tango ever. Then he recorded this tango 4 times, and later on he said this about this tango. So he also changed completely the direction of his playing and composing.
I think he used by saying that La Cumparsita as a symbol or as a metaphor for the whole traditional tango, which he abandoned in 1955 when he founded the Octeto Buenos Aires, and he changed completely the direction of his music. And he wrote a manifesto, a decalogue with 10 points, very strong. For example, saying, we don't play for dancers, we don't play songs. So there is no singer, maybe with some exceptions. And we are not playing for the masses, we are playing for listeners, for people who really are qualified, who sit still and listen to the music and appreciate. So it was a very strong statement against the traditional tango world, and this caused sometimes in concerts of Piazzolla in Buenos Aires riots. So sometimes he was ending his performance in the rain of rotten tomatoes. And the anti-Piazzolistas were really, really strong.
So I think Piazzolla would turn in his grave if he would know that people in our time dancing with his music and say, oh, Piazzolla is so lovely to dance. That's matter of taste, but also a matter of him. I mean, he didn't want this.
Piazzolla didn't intend to make dance music. It's just like that. Maybe with the exception of his own sextetto, this was still dance music, orchestra tipica, but then later from 55 on, he was just Piazzolla, Tango Nuevo.
And we will have an extra podcast for Astor Piazzolla, of course.
Definitely, promised.
There's one question left and we don't have the answer yet. Why La Cumparsita is playing always in the end of a milonga in the whole world. If you have the answer or an idea or whatever, please call us, write us.
We would really appreciate that.
Would be great. Now we have to say goodbye from our episode number 36 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. Today, with a wish of Franziska from Berlin and David from Calgary, Canada, La Cumparsita.
In the version of Anibal Troilo, November 5th, 1943. The arrangement was written by Astor Piazzolla. The music is written by Gerardo Matos Rodriguez with a little help of Roberto Firpo. And there's a apocryph lyric by Pasquale Contorsi and Enrique Maroni.
Thank you for traveling with us through Tangos We Love. We hope you enjoyed. This was
Daniela and Raimund, Tangomundo, Berlin.
Take care. Stay healthy.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.